Hello, today we're going to contribute some content to sPhil, and I'm going to show you how it's done. So here I am on the main page, and what I could do is I can click the GitHub icon right up in the corner there. By the way, if you want more information about this whole process, we have a contributing section that goes through everything I'm going to do in more detail, or you can work through it at your own pace. But you can find all of that here under contributing. Right then. So today I want to contribute something to the Hegel section. So I'm going to click on the reference, and there's nothing about infinity here, but I want to contribute something with regards to infinity. So I click on the GitHub icon, and that takes me to the sPhil codebase. So here I need to understand where I need to go in order to make my contribution. So I need to go to source, and I need to go to pages, and then I'm interested in Hegel, and I'm interested in contributing to the reference section because I want to contribute a piece with regards to some concept. So here I am in the reference folder. So all of this is basically like a file system that you will find on your computer. So it's just understanding the structure here that we have, and you should be able to make your way around it quite easily, I think. Well, once again, just go to contributing in case you have any worries or confusions. So here we are in the reference, and here I just create a new file. So I'm on a new account, and as in a brand new account, I haven't yet forked this repository. So if you're somebody coming from the outside and wanting to contribute something to the sPhil code base, the way GitHub works is that you have to first make a copy of sPhil on your under your account. So that way you kind of take ownership of this copy, and you can make whatever kind of changes you like to this copy. And then what you will do is to propose back to the sPhil repository, hey, I've made some changes. Would you like to integrate these changes into your version? So this is basically how the flow works on GitHub. So we'll need to fork this repository, and let's get ahead and do that. Yes, whatever. So it's telling us here that any changes we make in this file is going to be made in our fork, right? Not in the sPhil repository itself. So let me just get the piece of text I have. So I want to just add some stuff here about infinity. Let's add word wrap. So this is my paragraph. Okay. And we need to name our file. So it's important that all files that we contribute are MDX, have the MDX extension. But you'll notice that certain files are put under folders. So we'll follow that convention and do the same here. So since this is about infinity, we'll just do like this, infinity / and then call development.mdx. Okay. And now the button is green. We'll commit these changes. Create infinity paragraph. So commits on GitHub are basically just like save points, right? Whenever you have a Word document or working with any kind of file in some editor or some software, you often save what you're doing, and when you save, you're basically committing the changes you've made to file, right? So that's all that is, committing stuff at GitHub, except it's like a bit more explicit, right? We want every save to have some sort of description of what is being changed. So it's enough that we just write something here, create the infinity paragraph, and then propose these changes. Boom. So that brings us to this window here, and you can see the base repository is sPhil, sPhil, and main branch, and the head repository, which is where we're working from, is this unseeming owl, or your username /sPhil, and then the branch. So another tricky thing with GitHub is that you also not only have to be mindful of the various code bases or repositories, right? Because there's sPhil is under the sPhil organization, but then there is also sPhil now that I've copied under my account here in this unseeming owl. In addition to that, there are also branches, which are versions of that code base within the same owner. So I have now made a new branch called, it was automatically given to me because I just speedrun this. It's called patch 1. So that's the branch that I'm working with here under my code base. And I'm proposing to sPhil to take this branch from my copy and integrate it into its code base, right? So you can see here the files changed are is the paragraph that I added, just one line, and yeah, it looks good to me. Let's just create a pull. So now we're going to be creating a pull request, which is asking sPhil to or sPhil, right, to accept the changes that I made, and then take this version into their code base, so that it becomes part of the website. So we'll create a pull request here, and that takes us to this window. And here you see there's a bit of a checklist and stuff. So we won't read any of that here. We can just make a note. We'll just keep the name the same, right? You can also add a title to the pull request. So this is kind of opening the pull request itself, which is going to be like a thread where people can do a bunch of stuff. So let's just create that. And you can have a look through the checklist here. We have a bunch of things that are required. These are open to be changed quite frequently as we kind of hash out how we want the general flow to be. Ideally, we want more and more of this stuff to be automated. But as of now, there are certain things you need to sort of manually look over. But for now, really the only thing you need to check sort of in the box is just this, that it's a philosophical contribution. It's just something for the maintainers to know that, okay, this is a person who wants to contribute philosophical stuff. Now, so you'll notice that something will have happened. So we have a bunch of automated tests and things that are running on the site, and for first-time contributors or people new on GitHub, there is a kind of safety check that all workflows of these tests have to be manually approved. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that from my own account. Oh, hang on. Yeah, it's already done that because of another thing. So you'll notice that here is the commit that you made, or I made, created this infinity paragraph, and then there's another commit that happened afterwards, which is a kind of an automated process we've put in, which is just formatting what you wrote. And you'll see now that previously the things you wrote were all on sort of the same line. But now, due to the formatter we've put in, it sort of goes through the text that you've submitted, and it's gonna sort of break the paragraph into new lines as it to see like it breaks it into new lines. So this means that it'll be easier for us, for people reviewing the text, to sort of target specific lines, because the way GitHub works, we can make comments on lines in the code, in the sort of code, but it's hard to make a comment on a line if a line is just a single paragraph, like a long paragraph, right? So we kind of sort of narrow it down. But we have this formatter that sort of breaks it apart, and it doesn't affect the rendering. This will still render, fine on the website and so on, because of Markdown, the way Markdown works. And then anyone could just look through these lines and comment, right? You can make a comment specific to this line or to that line, right? Going back to the conversation view, our panel, scrolling down, we see that some checks were not successful. So we have a bunch of tests that we run to sort of ensure that things are formatted correctly. So this one here is giving us a X. So now why is that? Let's have a look at that. We can click details here, and it's giving us an error message. So it says invalid MDX data format, unable to extract metadata from our file. Okay, what's going on? The first place to look for things that are missing is in the checklist itself. So the error is talking about metadata. So we can see here that there is a check for added or verified metadata sort of format. So basically what we need to add to our file is this block here. So we can just click the button, copy there, and we can return to our file, and we can click these three dots on the corner, and we can click edit file. That takes us straight to the editing, and we're back now in our version of the code base. You see here, you can always look where you are if you look up in the URL, and you can also look up here, but you see it's definitely in the URL. So we're in our forked version of the code base, and we needed to add the metadata bit. So all we need to do is add that, and we should probably put in the right details. So this is titled Infinity, learn about Infinity in Hegel Sans Logic. Authors, so you're welcome to not put yourself as the editor. You can remain anonymous if you like, but there will be a record of your contribution from your user here on the GitHub repository. Right, so we've added the metadata, it's looking like this, and then a title. This has to be 2 hashes instead of 1, because if it's just 1, it won't appear because of the way the website builder renders things. All right, so we've added metadata, we've added a little title there. Let's now commit the changes. Yeah, commit directly, boom. That takes us straight back to the pull request, and then we can have a look at the conversation back here. Right, so we added metadata. So this time the automatic formatting shouldn't run. Oh, well, it did run. Okay. Surprising to me. Why did it run? So we can check the commit it made. Okay. So it just formatted this bit. So this didn't need to be broken up like that. Okay, whatever. Okay, so it made another commit after us, just a formatting thing. but we can look. So that triggered the tests again, and we can see, well, once more the verification of the content failed. So let's have a look at the details once more and see what's up. Error verifying citations. Citation is malformed or is missing year. So we'll see here, it's pointing out that the citation here is wrongly formatted. And that's true. So we're using Chicago author style, and Chicago author style doesn't really have this comma there. It only has the author, last name, year, and then page, if, optionally, if they put that in. But in any case, there shouldn't be a comma here between the author and the year. So that's something we need to fix. So let's go ahead and just do that. Go back to the pull request, go to our files changed. We can go all the way back from our user and change it on the branch, or we can just stay, go from this panel, edit file, right then. Let's fix that. Remove the comma, commit changes, move comma from citation, or we can just say fix citation. All right. And that brings us to, let's go back to this view, edit, fix citation. And now you see that the formatting isn't doing anything. Oh no, it once again did stuff. Formatter is very eager today. What did you do? Okay. So removing the comma changed the spacing of this paragraph, so it could fit in another word up there. So figured that was the best thing to do. So we'll just let it do that. But once again, we are getting a failed test. So let's look at the details and see what it says. So this time we get error matching citations to bibliography. Citations are not found in the library. Carlson 2007. So now it's pointing out that the way the system we have set up works is that you can use Chicago author date style citations, but they need to be referenced in a central place so that the program knows, well, what are you referring to? And the way we can fix that is first have a look at what the pull request says. Okay, I'm assured that the project central bibliography contains the necessary bibliographical details for the citations I have used. So oftentimes we will just reuse the same citations and then you don't need to do anything here. But since I'm now using a new piece of citation, I need to now add this to the bibliography. This link is currently not very useful. We'll sort that out later. But what I need to do is I need to go back to, let's see, what's the best way to go back? Can we click this? Yes. So that'll put me back into my code base of sPhil with the version that I'm working on, or the branch that I'm working from. So this is the patch 1 branch, and inside of the root of the code base you'll find a file called absolute bibliography. You click this and you see here there's a record of various bibliographical details that are being used throughout the code base. So what we need to do is to add our Carlson commentary to this file. And you notice that we're using a format called bibtex, which is a kind of standard, and you can so for example, you can find the book you're using. For example, I'm using a commentary to Hegel's Logic by David Gray Carlson, and you can click here in Google Books and click Create Citation, and then in this window you see there's other formats, you can click that. That'll download a text file. Oh, you can open that and copy that. Once you've so likely you'll find the book the commentary the text you're using in Google Books or elsewhere, and you will likely find that there are ready-made BibTeX citations. But if not, it's not too hard to make one yourself, because it's it's using fairly standard bibliographical details. But I have one ready, so let me just fetch that. Let's go back to our code base, the branch, and so here we are in the file we need to edit. So we click edit this file. Opens up this. Let's just do it simple and copy paste it at the end. Maybe have a look through how things are formatted, especially the key. Not that the key is used today, but might be used someday. So it's usually the author, which is here Carlson, the year, and something about the title. So commentary is not very useful. Let's just put in Hegel instead. So this is Hegel, and then and the good thing is to just double check the bibliographical details, because it's not always the case that when you copy stuff straight from Google Books or wherever, it's accurate. So here, for example, we're missing an address. Where are these guys located? Basingstoke, Hampshire. Okay. Right then, I suppose that's it. Let's go back here and let's add that bit. Remember to add a comma there, some spaces, address, we'll probably be adding some sort of formatting on this file as well in the future, but for now this should work fine. Okay, we've added our citation, commit these changes. So we're still working from our branch, our version, right? And I'm making an additional change to a different file. So this one is already updating. Let's just make a mode scripter with Carl's in 2007. Okay. Commit directly, let's go. That's it, and then let's have a look. Let's go back to our pull request. Is there a quick way to do it from here? Well, we could click back, but I would prefer to avoid that. Could just go to, well, we could click this right here, forked from this place. So let's go back to where it's forked from, the parent code base, and then go back to pull requests, and then click here. All right. So this time the formatter didn't do anything. And because I'm a new contributor to GitHub, it won't fire off the automated work, the tests. So some maintainer needs to come in and just approve this. So maybe we'll see about fixing that in the future, but it's only for users who are new to GitHub. So if you do this on a regular basis or whatever, it shouldn't affect you. Okay, so now you see that all checks have passed. we've done it. We've added a piece of text to the sPhil, and it checks out according to our tests in terms of like style and formatting and whatever. So this is how it's going to look like. These are the changes you're making. You're adding this this text, source text, and then this is the piece of text that you are contributing, right? So now somebody else, like a maintainer, needs to actually look at the content of what you've written and add commentary and stuff, so that the process, the way things work, is that somebody else can come in and make a comment. So I can go in here. So let's say some time has passed, some maintainers come in and have a look at it, and now there is a comment, right, on the piece. So specifically a comment on this line, right? How is it a self-contained totality? Please elaborate. So for example, right, there might be lots of different things, and the pull request is going to sort of it won't be ready to be merged in until you have resolved all these conversations. So let's have a look at a different pull request, like a live one, where I'm working on a piece about becoming from Hegel's logic. And you see here that my colleague and friend Ahilius has made lots of comments, actually quite a bit of comments. So I really have my work cut out for me. I am going to stay here. I'm going to have a long night. Yeah. So I'm going to have to like respond to the things that he's pointing out. Some of them are grammatical, syntactical, quick fixes. Others are more like in-depth philosophical content. But this is really like the flow and the process of sPhil, that people contribute text, right? And then multiple people can look at that text from many different angles and work at it and make sort of the best possible version of it. So I have quite a lot of stuff ahead of me here. Right. So I won't be merging this piece in now, but I think it would be fun to see how it could look like. Okay, so here I am with a local instance of the codebase of sPhil running on my computer. So this is cloned from the codebase that we were just working on, and I'm just going to show you quickly that if the changes were going to be merged in exactly as we saw them, exactly as we saw it here, these changes here, then it would look like this. So here it is. See, it's taking care of the formatting quite nicely. And that's it. That's how you contribute some content to sPhil. Obviously, some other things will have to be sorted out here, nitpicking. But basically, this is the sort of the flow of it. And I hope that you will contribute something soon. Thanks for watching, and cheers. Bye-bye.